Most English-speaking expats assume that the reason they struggle online is because they're missing something. But after learning how the remote job market actually works, I realised the truth is completely different. You're not underqualified, you're underpositioned. And once you understand what today's remote organisations are really looking for, the entire online career landscape starts to make sense. And here's what I've seen after reviewing hundreds of applications and coaching hundreds of expats inside of our system. It's that most expats approach remote work in ways that actually hide their strengths. They apply to every job. They send generic CVs. They list basic admin tasks and use "I can do anything" messaging, hoping something finally sticks. So the issue isn't lack of opportunity. It's that everyone looks identical on paper. And meanwhile, coaching companies, education platforms, wellness brands, and values-driven digital businesses aren't looking for task doers. They're looking for ethical communicators who can help clients feel safe, understood, and support them through important decisions. Roles where you guide clarity, not pressure, where you help people take aligned next steps, not force outcomes. And that gap explains why so many talented English-speaking expats get overlooked. And this isn't just my opinion. According to LinkedIn's Workplace Learning Report, top-ranked growth skills for 2024 to 2025 now include communication, emotional intelligence, and leadership. So companies worldwide are prioritizing these skills as they move deeper into remote and hybrid work. Research from the Harvard Business Review also shows that foundational soft skills like communication, decision clarity are becoming as important or more important than technical expertise in remote teams. And at the same time, global coaching, online education, and high-touch services in that sector has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry, with companies actively looking for people who can guide their client conversations, who can build trust, who can support emotional decision-making, who can communicate calmly in uncertain moments, who can help clients move forward without pressure. The world is changing very, very fast, just not in the way most expats think. Here's the part most expats never hear. You already have the core strengths ethical sales teams are built on, because living abroad forced you to develop cultural communication, emotional sensitivity, flexibility, patience, problem solving, listening skills, clarity under stress, empathy in unfamiliar situations. These aren't just soft skills. These are strengths that companies value in roles where you guide conversations gently, support clients with clarity, and help them move forward without pressure. Again, you may not be underqualified, but you're probably underpositioned. And after training 350 plus expats and reviewing hundreds of hours of calls, I've noticed the same pattern again and again. Expats apply like employees, but ethical sales organizations hire like a global talent pool. Expats present themselves with generic CVs, admin-heavy experience, gig-based backgrounds, vague, over-humble messaging, no clear communication identity. But companies are looking for people who can listen deeply, who can understand their clients, guide meaning, create trust, hold space, and support aligned decisions. And this isn't about being the best talker. It's about being the most grounded communicator in the room. And here's the pattern we've seen many times. Some of our graduates came from teaching backgrounds and spent months applying for admin roles without success. But once they reposition themselves as communicators who help coaching and education companies create clearer, more supportive client conversations, they started getting responses often and quickly. Same person, same background, different communication identity. So why is this important? Well, most people believe that AI reduced the opportunities available to us. But here's what's actually happening. AI automated repetitive tasks, but it did not automate emotional understanding, conflict resolution, trust building, clarity in uncertain times, guiding decisions ethically, and supporting people with care and accuracy. And sales organizations know this. This is why communication first roles, especially in coaching, consulting, and education, are growing faster than roles that rely on only technical skills. It's also why companies come to us looking specifically for graduates trained in empathic remote closing, a method built on clarity, empathy, and ethical guidance, not pressure. Here's the clearest proof. Hundreds of graduates trained, repeatable success patterns, real transformation in how expats communicate. And in a recent study we did, 93% of graduates who applied for remote positions through our job board received an offer for a remote contract. Not because they became someone new, but because once your communication identity changes, companies finally see your actual value and everything shifts from that point. So if you felt invisible, undervalued, stuck in a low-paying role, unsure what to learn, tired of no replies, and confused about where you fit in the online space, it's not because you're not capable. The truth is, you already have the core strengths ethical sales teams want. You have empathy. You have a communication foundation. You have the adaptability. You've lived abroad and have the experience of that. You're not underqualified. You simply haven't been positioned for the roles that match who you already are, and that can be fixed. So if overqualified but unseen feels familiar to you and you want clarity on how to reposition yourself for communication first roles inside ethical remote companies, comment prospectus and I'll send you the full guide. No pressure, just clarity, so you can finally see where you naturally fit in this growing industry.